Welcome to A Journey to Happy Happy. I'm Autumn, mom, spiritual mentor, angel Reiki master, and also just a human figuring it out just like you. This is the place you come when life feels a little loud, a little chaotic, and you need just a moment to come back to yourself. Because here's the thing, life doesn't have to be so serious. You can hold your emotions, I can hold mine, and when we meet here, we don't have to fix anything. We just get to be. We get to laugh, we get to breathe, and actually enjoy the moments we're in. That's what happy is. Not perfect, not forced, just presence. So wherever you are right now, driving, walking, hiding in the bathroom for 5 minutes apiece, you made it. You're here. And this is your reminder that the journey you're on right now is already worth celebrating. Welcome back to your journey, back to happy.
What if every person you meet is a doorway? And I mean this literally. What if every conversation, every connection, every room you enter gives someone an opportunity to step into a different energy? If you really pay attention to the present moment in life, some people walk into our lives and open us up to fear. Some open us up into a doubtful mindset. Some make us feel like we need to shrink or perform to maybe explain ourselves or become someone else just to be loved. But then there are people whose presence feel like a deep exhale. The people who make us feel safe enough to soften, the people who remind us of what is possible, the people who may never fully understand the impact that they had on our lives, but because of the way they loved us, listened to us, simply sat beside us, we remembered something within ourselves that we may have forgotten. People are portals, and so are you. Your energy introduces you before your words ever do. Your aura enters the room first. It speaks through the way you love, through the way you walk, through the way you listen, the way you look at people. The space you create and the energy you leave behind matters. So today I want to ask you a question that I believe has the power to change the way you move through the world. What does your presence open people into? Does it open them into fear, judgment, pressure, limitations? Or does it open them into safety, possibilities, truth, freedom, love? Because your presence carries power. And whether you realize it or not, people feel it. Welcome back to A Journey to Happy. I am so grateful to have you here. Today we are talking about the energy we carry, the portals we become, and the unmatched transformation that can happen when we choose to lead with love. When I say people are portals, I do not mean that in some distinct mystical way that has nothing to do with our everyday lives. I mean that people can become doorways into different versions of ourselves. Think about the people you've encountered throughout your life. There are people whose criticisms made you question yourself maybe the entire day. There are people whose inconsistency taught your nervous system to stay on guard. There are people who made you feel like love had to be earned, like your feelings were way too much to handle, or like maybe being your full self was somehow unsafe. That's not funny, but it's so true. Their presence opened you into contraction. But there may also have been someone you looked at or who looked at you and truly saw you for you. Someone who believed in you before you could believe in yourself. Someone who did not need to fix your pain, rush your healing, or hand you all of the answers. They simply held space where you could hear your own truth again. Their presence opens you into expansion. Sometimes one loving interaction becomes a doorway to an entirely different life. A teacher sees something in a child that no one else could see or has taken the time to notice. A friend calls you at the exact moment someone feels completely alone. A stranger offers kindness on a day when a person has completely quietly decided that the world is cold. Maybe it's as simple as a mother apologizing to her child that interrupts a pattern that has lived in her family for generations. These moments might look very small from the outside, but energetically, they are not small at all. You may never know what someone was carrying when they encountered you. You may never know how close they were to giving up, how deeply they were doubting themselves, or how badly they needed one experience that reminded them that gentleness still exists. And this is why energy matters. Not because you're expected to save everyone, not because you have to become endlessly positive or spiritually perfect, and not because you should abandon your own boundaries to make other people comfortable. Your energy matters because every interaction leaves an imprint. You're always reminding people of something. What are you reminding them of? We tend to think communication begins when we open our mouths, but people often experience our energy before we even process the words. They feel whether you are truly listening or simply wanting to respond. They feel whether our kindness is genuine or conditional. They feel whether our questions come from curiosity or judgment. And they feel whether there is room to be human around us. It speaks through your pace, through your eyes, through whether someone feels rushed or received. If you need to control the moment or if you can stay present inside of it. And this does not mean we will always arrive at the best versions of ourselves. We are human. We are destined to become overwhelmed, to get activated, to have hard days. We carry grief, exhaustion, frustration, and fear. Grief is not linear. Being intentional with our energy does not mean pretending those emotions do not exist. It means becoming honest enough to recognize when the pain is trying to speak through you. And it means asking, is this person experiencing who I truly am? Or are they experiencing the wounded version of me? The wound I have not tended to yet. This question isn't meant to shame us, but it's meant to help us return to our power. Our power is us.
Before we continue with today's episode, I want to share something incredibly special with you. If you have been visualizing, affirming, journaling, and asking the universe for more, but still feel like something inside of you is holding back, I created something just for you. My new book, Embody Manifestation, is a 7-phase guided workbook designed to help you release limited beliefs, align your energy, and activate your highest timeline. Because manifestation isn't only about asking for what you want, it's about becoming the version of yourself who feels ready, worthy, safe, and capable of receiving. This is a book you are not going to want to just place on your shelf. It is an experience that guides you inward, helping you recognize what is keeping you connected to your past and intentionally embodying the woman your next chapter requires. Embody Manifestation is available now on Amazon. Search Embody Manifestation by Autumn Grimes or tap the link in today's show notes. Your highest timeline is not somewhere outside of you, people. It begins with you, and this workbook will help you meet her.
Awareness creates choice. When we become aware of what we are carrying, we can pause before we hand it to someone else. We can breathe before we react. We can communicate instead of punishing. We can set a boundary without cruelty. And we can tell the truth without trying to destroy someone with it. We can become responsible for our energy without making ourselves responsible for everyone else's feelings. And that distinction is so important. You are not responsible for healing everyone you meet. You are not responsible for making every person happy. You are not responsible for absorbing their pain and carrying their emotions and abandoning your own truth. You are not responsible for staying in spaces that are harming you just so someone else never has to feel uncomfortable. That is not love. That is self-abandonment. You are responsible for becoming aware of the energy you bring into your connections. You are responsible for asking yourself whether this behavior matches the love you say you carry. You are responsible for your own boundaries, your honesty, your repair, and the way you care for your own inner world. Sometimes being a portal for love looks warm, soft, and nurturing, but sometimes it looks like saying no. It looks like telling your truth. It looks like refusing to participate in a pattern that keeps everyone small. Love is not the absence of boundaries. Healthy boundaries create a space where love can exist without resentment. So becoming a loving presence does not mean becoming available to everyone at all times. It means becoming aligned with what your soul needs and not what everyone else needs from your soul. It means that when you say yes, your yes is true. When you say no, your no is no. It's not, I'm going to say no and 5 seconds later go and say yes. When you make a mistake, you're willing to repair it. And when someone stands before you, you remember that they are a soul having a human experience, even when you cannot walk their path for them. They are still having a human experience. I truly believe that love is an unmatched force of transformation. The transformation that happens through love is unmatched. Love does not force, it does not chase, it does not demand that someone becomes different because that person needs them to become different. It does not demand that someone becomes different before they are worthy. Love says that you are worthy here. And because you are safe enough to be seen, you are also safe enough to grow. That does not mean love approves of every choice. It does not mean love avoids accountability. True love can be honest. True love can be fierce. True love can say, I see your heart, but I also know that you are capable of more than this. But love does not humiliate someone into transformation. It creates a space where the walls can soften, the heart can breathe, and the soul and spirit can remember who it has been beneath the fear, the conditioning, the survival, and all the stories it collected along the way. I believe that so many people are not searching for someone to give them another answer. They're not searching for that. They are searching for an experience that makes it feel safe to hear the answers that's already living within them. What if you could be that kind of presence? What if you could be that kind of portal? Because that person whose energy gives others permission to return to themselves. That is powerful and that is sacred. And that is something that every one of us can practice and practice and practice. I want to be very clear here and very real because I never want spirituality to become another form of pressure. That's not how it's meant to be. You do not have to heal every single wound before presence can matter because that will never happen. This journey is continuous, it's forever healing. You do not need to be high vibrational every second of every day. We are human. We are human living in experience, and energy and motion is emotions, and we are meant to feel. Okay? So you don't need to walk into every room glowing, smiling, and pretending like life has never hurt you. Some of the most loving energy comes from the people who know pain intimately and have decided to not let the pain make them cruel. Those are the people. That's the sacred energy. Some of the safest people are not the people who have never struggled. They are the people who have met their own shadows, learned how to sit beside someone else without judging theirs. Your tenderness may have been born from what you survived. Your ability to listen may have been grown from the seasons that you felt unheard. Your compassion may exist because you remember exactly what it felt like when no one offered it to you. Your story does not disqualify you from being a portal of love. Your story does not disqualify you from being a portal of love. Your story may be the very reason you understand how much love matters. The goal is not perfection, people. The goal is presence. Can I be here? Can I listen? Can I become curious before I make any sort of assumption? Can I allow another person's experience to be real, even if it's different from mine? Can I recognize when I am activated and choose not to turn my pain into a weapon? Can I offer myself the same love I want to carry into the world? Because the truth is, we cannot sustainably become a portal for love while speaking to ourselves with cruelty. The energy we give others begins with the relationship we have within ourselves. Romanticize your life. If your inner world is filled with punishment, pressure, impossible expectations, that energy will eventually leak into the way you show up. So maybe the first portal you are being asked to transform is the one inside of you. What do you open yourself into every morning? Do you open yourself up into criticism before your feet even touch the floor? Do you immediately enter urgency, comparison, and everything you believe you should have accomplished by now? Or can you become and begin creating an inner presence that feels like home? Can your own love become the doorway through which you meet yourself again? I want to give something simple to practice this week because who doesn't love a little bit of homework? Before you enter a room or begin a conversation or you walk into your home, even before you answer the child or the friend or you meet with the client, before you respond to something difficult, just pause. Take a deep breath in. Place your hand over your heart if that feels good to you. Just feel that one deep breath and ask yourself, what am I carrying into this moment? Please do not judge the answer, just notice it. Maybe you're carrying peace. Maybe it's frustration. Maybe you're carrying someone else's energy. Maybe you hear that your body is needing rest. Maybe there's just something that you need to acknowledge before you can be fully present, and that's okay. Following that question, ask yourself, what do I want my presence to open here? Maybe you want to open honesty or safety or playfulness or clarity or love. Choose one energy, not a performance. Choose it as an intention. Then let your words, your choices grow from that place. And after that interaction, ask, what energy did I leave behind? Not to obsess over how someone perceived you, not to abandon yourself or manage their emotions or your emotions, simply to become more conscious of the imprint that you are creating. This is how we stop moving through life on autopilot. This is how we turn ordinary moments into sacred ones. And while you're becoming conscious of what your presence opens into others, begin noticing what different people and spaces open inside of you. Who helps you in your nervous system soften? Who inspires your creativity? Who makes you feel more like yourself? Your body is always giving you information. This is also part of what I love about what finds you. The signs, the signs finding us are not limited to feathers, repeating numbers, songs, or animals. Sometimes the sign is the feeling that you arrive through an interaction. Sometimes a person reflects a pattern we are finally ready to see, and sometimes the universe answers us through the exact words someone says, the emotion that arises in our bodies, or the repeated way we feel around a certain energy. When you begin recording these moments, you start dismissing them as random. You begin seeing the language of our own life. You begin recognizing what expands you, what contracts you, what repeats, and what your intuition has been trying to communicate. Awareness strengthens intuition, and intuition helps us choose our portals more consciously, the spaces we enter, the relationships we nurture, and the energy we allow to shape us. There will be moments in your life that you believe are ordinary, but someone else will remember them forever. They may remember that you looked them in the eyes when everyone else looked away. They may remember that you believed in them, that you let them cry without trying to rush them out of their pain, that you celebrated them without making their joy about you, that your honesty did not feel like punishment, that your presence gave them permission to breathe. You may never be told about the impact you made, but that does not mean the impact was not real. You are a living portal. Your presence carries power. So ask yourself, what energy do I want my aura giving? And what do I want people to remember after they leave my presence? I hope they remember what love felt like. I hope they remember what was possible. And most importantly, I hope they remember themselves. But I hope you remember yourself. I hope you remember that your softness is not weakness, that your boundaries do not make you unloving, and that your energy does not need to be perfect to be powerful. And I hope you remember that every time you choose compassion over criticism, curiosity over assumption, presence over performance, and love over fear, you become a portal of transformation. One interaction at a time, one choice at a time, one heart at a time. Your presence matters, your energy matters, your love matters. And the world is changed each time you allow that love to move through you. Thank you for being here today. If this episode touched your heart, share it with someone whose presence has felt like love in your life. Let them know that the energy they carry has mattered, and it's mattered to you. And until next time, remember, the journey is a joy, and your presence is part of someone else's journey too. Happy, happy. Thank you for taking this journey with me today. Wherever you're listening from, whatever season of life you're in, whatever you're carrying, I hope you remember you don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to build something, and you don't have to wait for someday, because the journey really is the joy. Until next time, happy, happy.